Hi friends. Okay, so today I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to shuffle the dice. I've chosen the dice because I want to tell you my own story. I'm going to use the clues as well, but I'm going to tell you my own stories. I'm going to go for an adventure. So we're not going to have any boy, any girl, no animals this time. But Miss Insi, and that's me, my name's Miss Insi, I'm going on an adventure. And today I'm going to set off on a safari. As you can see, my hat, and I've got my jacket, and I'm all set to go on a safari in the savannah desert. Has anyone been on a safari? If some of you have, I'm sure you know what it feels like. What's the climate? Is it hot? Is it cold? What kind of animals do you see on a safari when you go in the jeep? What animals do you see? What kind of plants do you see? How is the sand? How does it feel under your feet? Those kind of things. Right, so let's begin. So one day on a hot, sunny afternoon, Miss Insi took off on a safari on her journey with a map in her hand. On the map, there were lots of clues to different spots on her adventure. She wanted to see what she could find. And she also carried with herself, most importantly, if you know Miss Insi, you know I love the camera. So we have to take pictures of the animals. I'm not going to see a tiger or a white leopard every day, am I? So I'm going to carry my camera as well. And of course, I'm going to carry my headphones and I'm going to listen to some fun music as I walk along the path taking me into the vast jungles. And as I walk along, of course, I'm walking with somebody because I can't walk on my own to see the tigers and the lions. There are lots of cacti. That's one of the plants that you can find in a desert. When I'm walking past, there is a big, what can I say? There's a huge tent that I see far in the distance. And the tent looks like this. It looks a little bit like a circus tent. But as I approach it, there are lots of people sitting inside. They've got lots of maps on their table. And I tell myself, I've got a map as well. Maybe this is a map to some treasure on my safari, on my adventure. I don't know. And there's lots of people. Some people are eating, some people are talking. I can hear voices from speakers giving them instructions of what to do. And I got a little bit scared because I was like on my own, but with this man, but not really, because he couldn't speak English. He was speaking a language called Swahili, which is a language spoken in Dar es Salaam, which is a place in Tanzania, in Africa. So I was speaking English and he couldn't understand. So most of the time I had to do sign language, which was a little bit difficult. But anyways, so he spoke to me through the sign language. I understood I couldn't go walking any further and I had to take the jeep in order to go through the jungle. And I was like, okay, let's go. So as we got into the jeep, it was a nice big green army jeep. Oh, I love those army trucks. They look so nice and strong. And I went inside and I sat at the back and the driver was in the front. And the first animal I saw was a tiger. And just a little bit ahead, I saw two lions with their baby animals on the side. And it looked so loving and it was beautiful. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. Just as we reached a little bit further on, there was a group of people making a bonfire. They were camping in the jungle, which I think was not really safe, but maybe they were having another adventure. So they told me to sit down and they offered me some hot broth. That's a kind of a soup. And I was so hungry by then, so I sat down and then I started to have my broth. It was so delicious and hot and tasty. I wonder what you would put in a broth if you had to make one on your safari adventure. And then as I was eating my soup, suddenly there was a storm, a loud thunder, and it started raining heavily. It started pouring cats and dogs. And I was like, oh my God, I was petrified. I was in this jungle with a man not speaking English. I was having my broth. I was enjoying my day, and suddenly it starts raining heavily. In the midst of all the rain, as I walk out of the tent and out of this camping area, I see a glittering pendant hiding and between few shrubs near a tree. I thought to myself, maybe this is something that I could take back home, and it could be one of my treasures that I found on my adventure. So I took the pendant, and what I did was I wore it around my neck. And I felt so happy. And just as I was walking on, I wore the pendant, I was happy. I didn't take any pictures, so I took the camera and I started to click lots of pictures. I know it was raining, but I wasn't feeling too miserable. I was like, I need to enjoy myself. And just as I looked up, there was a speeding jet. It zoomed past the sky. And then I shouted, "Hi!" And guess what? They waved back at me. I was so happy. I was like, oh, they're so kind. Well, so that was my little adventure. But then I don't know how I got back. It would be really nice if you could tell me, how did Miss Insi find her way back home? Did she go back on the jeep, on the truck with the man? Or did she find another way to transport herself back to where she came from? Let me know. Bye. See you tomorrow.